So I get loads of emails, and I've had lots recently. People asking me questions about things they've seen on other clips that people have done, trying to explain internal Wing Chun, what is internal Wing Chun, which is external, which is internal. People are asking me all sorts of questions based upon stuff they've been seeing lately. The real answer, there isn't internal Wing Chun. There's just Wing Chun. Internal Wing Chun is part of a whole, right? So really, you have internal, external, but really that's sort of more modern terms for hidden skill or obvious skill. Obvious skill is skill you can see. You can see how it's mechanically developed. You can see what's happening. It's obvious, right? Hidden skill is skill that you can't see so easy, and that's what we call internal. You can't see the skill with a naked eye, or you can only see it with a trained eye. That would be classed as more internal skill. So that's more hidden skill. So when people try to say that their Wing Chun is internal and that they teach internal Wing Chun, it's nonsense, because you're teaching half a system, because you need both skills. Every martial arts has obvious training. Every martial arts has stance training. Every martial arts has training that develops the body to be strong. Right? The body has to be strong. When the body's strong, you can then relax. Right? So if you want to get strong and you want to release, you need to be strong before you do that. Otherwise, you're just collapsing and you're doing spaghetti hands. Right? You need to have a strong structure to have a soft structure. So there's a balance between yin and yang. There's no difference in fighting. When you're fighting with someone, you don't say just stop there. I'm going to do some internal. I'm going to do external. You just use all of it. You use everything you can, and how well you relax under pressure is how well you can control that internal skill. Most people who just focus and say they do internal and that's all they're doing, when you see them under pressure, it all falls over. There's no pressure control. You need both. You need to have both. The guys that are very good internally, they're strong, they're powerful. Right? That's what you can see. You can see how strong and powerful they are, and they can do it. They can do it under pressure. I'm not saying that they can do it under MMA pressure. Right? It's a different environment, different thing. I'm not saying you have to do that to prove it. I think you have to prove it inside the context of what you're doing. So if you're doing Chu Sao, you're doing push hands, you should be able to take some pressure and control somebody. Right? If you're not doing that with pressure, with a live opponent, then you're doing the training for it. Now, push hands and Chi Sao both have different components. Some of the components is training skills. So you're training in a way that you're both trying to win on a certain skill level. It's not trying to overdo it. And then other times, okay, see what you got, give me a bit of pressure and see if we can do it. There should be different levels of training. And then obviously you can use control sparring. Control sparring can test the timing, the robustness of a technique. So that's all applicable. You don't have to be sparring where you're trying to knock each other out, or you don't have to be sparring where you're going to, looking for submissions and chokes. You just have to isolate your sparring to robustly test some of the concepts that you're using. So people have been asking me, so I'll explain. First of all, we see some videos about pushing and pulling and saying it's basic, it's not internal. That's nonsense. Everything is internal, everything is external. It just depends how you do it. So if you push me and I hold pressure and then I pull you and you don't do anything about it, it's very basic. It's not complicated, right? So doing that isn't pushing and pulling. If I'm pushing and pulling, it has to be at the right time, and I have to make sure I control your center. So if you push into me and I sink and I expand, I take your balance, and now I pull you, my pull is going to be very effective, because that's the time to pull someone after you've taken their balance. So there's a time and place for when you push and pull. If all you're doing is trying to push and pull someone as they stand there, of course that's not going to work very well, because he's ready for it. Okay? So the push and pull aspect of what you're doing is done at the right time. So if we're rolling and he's pushing towards me and I'm controlling his balance, now when I sink, when I push, the push will work, right? Now when you push, they say in Tai Chi there's no push in Tai Chi, even though we have push hands. Because in Tai Chi you don't push, you expand, right? So same thing, whenever you have a position where you want to use your body, you can expand to take someone's balance. You don't push from your shoulders and lift your center of gravity to push, or you don't sink your knees to push. You expand from your body to push. This is normal skill that you see in all Chinese martial arts, right? You see it in all the different Chinese martial arts. So you have layers of skill, not different skill. It's not a hierarchy of which skill is better than one, right? Pushing and pulling isn't better than expansion. Expansion is not better than linking, delinking, right? All these things you use together, right? Having internal skill is not better than having a position of control when you wedge into control someone, because now he can't move as freely as he wants to do, right? So this position is still a very good skill, right? I control him. Now he tries to move, I can then attack his center because he's now compromised from the position. So nothing Nothing is better than anything else, right? Everything works together. That's the yin and yang. Yin within yang, yang within yin, right? They have to work together. So, simple idea, right? If you push towards me with your shoulders, this is using the upper body, right? So this is very limited pushing, right? So if Rocky pushes like that, it's very limited. He pushes himself off the ground, right? He actually pushes himself off somebody. Linking, delinking is another thing people talk about and ask me a lot about. If he pushes towards me, I can hold it, I can link and delink and then re-attack him. So the link and delinking will refine his center. So if he's strong and he pushes, I can link and hold it. If I link too long, I'll get weak. So I delink it slightly, then link it, delink it, and I find his center. Right? And then if he pushes towards me, I can release and sink, and then I can expand, which really takes his center. So there's lots of different ways that you can use these things. And none of these things really work without linking, delinking, because you have to go on and off in different fractals to control someone. Right? So that's a big misconception. Right? So if we're rolling here, and they say, oh, he can link and delink, but then if I delink, he can strike me. That's called collapsing. You don't collapse. So you push it towards me. I delink, but I'm still linking. I delink, but I'm still linking. So I'm delinking off the angle. I'm linking to control the forward pressure. I'm delinking to control him. I'm linking to control the pressure. But I'm not doing it with my arms. I'm doing it with my center, my core, my legs, my arms, my whole body. So you push towards me. It's not this. I delink to one side. That's not how it works, right? You're not delinking like that. You push towards me. There's a controlling pressure that allows me to link and delink and travel forward and backwards at the same time. So there's many, many layers, right? At the same time, as I'm doing that, you push forward, I can delink him to the position, delink him off balance. Now he's on one leg, right? So he tries to put his weight back down, I can follow him in, right? So there's lots of different things you can do. Nothing so simple. So anybody's telling you that they do internal Wing Chun, they're doing half training. Anybody's telling you that pushing, pulling is basic, or linking, delinking is basic, they don't understand it. Right? Because that's part of the normal art. There's part of the progression. You can't miss that out. You can't have a car with no wheels. Right? You need everything. And every martial arts has its value. Everybody has different emphasis on their training and different skills. If you only have expansion, which is a good skill, and we do a lot in Tai Chi, and we do a lot in the high level of your training in all martial arts, and we do that in our Wing Chun. If that's all you have, but you don't have the ability to link and delink, then you only have like a pie trick, right? You can float someone, but then what do you do with it, right? You still need the skills application, you still need the power, you still need the robustness, you still need to be healthy and fit to apply the art, right? So you need all them things together. So I don't like talking too much in videos, I like to show stuff, right? So we'll roll, okay? So when Lucky pushes towards me or he strikes, it's just live normal, right? We don't set things up, right? We just go live normal, right? So what I'm doing, I'll try and find a point to show you. Here, I put pressure on his legs, right? So I've sunk down. So you go. So as he goes, he's stuck, right? Yeah. Then I release at the right time to strike. So I have to know when to delink to get my strike, right? So we'll say, oh yeah, so you can go here, right? Okay, so we're back. So we're just trying to show you some of the skill. It's hard to show it because it's already gone by the time we've done it, right? Because we do it live. We don't do it for a comic reaction, right? We're doing it live. Right? So here, yep. You block the first one, and the second one expand. That's it. See there, he tried to redirect me across. I linked my hand and I linked it back on again. Otherwise, it would have got my hand across. If you got my hand across, I can delink and strike and come to the other side, right? There's always a secondary thing you can do, right? If he's punching me, I can redirect him and take the side position. For the side position, often this is what you see in Tai Chi, people push from here, or in Wing Chun, people use double palms from here a lot, or land style from here a lot. If I push with my shoulders from here, he's too strong, right? So of course I have to sink and expand to get him off his feet, right? Now if he's ready, you can only just take him off his feet, and then you have to redirect him again to get more time into strike. If he punches you, if you punch and he's not ready, and you come in here, you can expand him much easier. From that expansion position here, I can sink, expand him off his balance, right? Or from here, he pushes forward, I can redirect him and expand him even easier, because once he pushes forward into my center, here I redirect him off the center, his balance comes off more. Now he's on his toes. Now it's easier to expand and release him from here, right? So how does that relate to fighting? Once you have this position where you can expand someone, you don't throw them away. You throw them just a tiny bit and then you snap them back in again. You don't want them to go away, right? That's a mistake, right? In training, it's okay because we want to train the release of pressure. But actually in application, you let them go a little bit, snap them back in, and then pull them back into more striking. You want to put them in a grinder and pop them around, right? So here, yeah, let's do. Well, he got my balance there. Yeah, it's good. So here, what I grab, often it's not a grab where you squeeze. People talk about sticking and the magical sticking. Let me tell you a secret. Right? So it's not a secret as people think. If I grab you, I'm tensing my muscle. So when he moves me, because I'm hold on to him. So he moves, it pulls me. If I relax and I just draw my hand, I stretch down the tissue and I relax, and he moves. Now I'm stuck on him. Right? It makes it very hard for him to move me. So it's this stickiness is pulling the tissue open. If you get the fibers, you stretch them open, they can't contract. So when we're here and I stick, he tries to move, I pull him open. I pull the fibers open and sink. So you move. And then look, he floats his feet because his upper body tenses, it lifts him off his center. So there you can say, I'm sinking, I'm stretching, I'm sinking, and he pulls. That actually increases my stickiness, right? So it's not like magic where he's stuck to me and he can't follow me. He can also relax his arm down and get away from me. So drop your hand down, he can get away from me. So people say, oh, he's stuck, he can't move away from me. It's nonsense. Of course he can move away from you, right? He's just choosing not to because his brain's overloaded, right? So often when you're in positions where you're like this, I'm striking and I have my hand here, he tries to move away, he tries to push forward, and I sink. He's stuck because I'm stretching him. If he moves away from me, of course he can move away. He can move away. Some people say he can't move away once you're stuck. That's not true. The mechanics of it is really just stretching the tissue open, right? And then sinking into the body and relaxing, right? And once I stretch that open, it's very hard for him. You move away now? Now, because I pulled him into me, he's pulling away against me. So you pull away? Now, it's very hard for him to pull away, right? Because I'm pulling the tissue, right? So now if he sinks and pushes into me, and then he pulls away, that's where he can link and delink to get out of it, right? And then if you do it again, I will follow that. So you pull out, and I try to follow that, and then re-stick and re-link. So that's hidden skill, right? It's hard to see what's going on. It's hard to perceive what's happening there, right? So that's the hidden skill. So there's no such thing as doing one thing. You can't just do one thing and say this is it, right? It doesn't work that way. Everything is combined, right? So we're rolling. So I'm holding, he knows I've got his wrist, he's trying to get out. I'm sinking, yep, you can do. And I release it to strike at the right time. So again, I'm sinking and I'm stretching him open, so I'm sticking to him, right? I'm sinking. As he's turning, I'm releasing it, and then I'm reconnecting, I'm linking, delinking, until I use the leverage point, the leverage, she's beating me with the leverage, then I release it and strike, right? So everything has its place. Everything works together. You have all these tools, you use all the tools. There's not one magic tool. You don't have the magic tool that always does it. Everything is needed, right? And that's why we train wrestling, jiu-jitsu, Wing Chun, Tai Chi. Everything we're doing is robust, right? All my teachers, all my training partners train robustly, right? So my teachers have always taught me everything has to be usable, right? It has to be usable with mechanics, has to be usable with Chi, both together. You can't have one. Anybody says you just use one and that's it, is not telling you the full picture, right? Because you have to have the physical body as well as having an energetic body, right? They have to work together. So, yeah, let's do some more rolling for you and see if we can find a few more points of control. Yeah, so you got that one, right? So here, he stepped in, took the balance, right? And it was soft, it wasn't hard because my feet were light, right? Because he had the balance already. And training doesn't have to be, you don't have to get hurt to train, right? You can train robustly and live without hurting each other, right? You can train and have control without getting smashed. We're not hurting each other, but we're training live and robustly. We're not trying to make everything look perfect. We're just doing what we're doing, trying to find different ways to use the body, trying to find the timing to be live timing. There's no good doing things slowly and then doing everything pinned and everything in slow motion, and then coaching him to push towards me. Then I take your balance, right? Okay, it's okay for training, but application, I have to be able to do that under real pressure circumstances, right? You have to be able to do it live, otherwise it doesn't exist, right? So that one coming. So sometimes we slow down just to feel who's got the balance, and then we play the game. So what he's trying to do, what he's trying to do. I just see how far I can wait before I lose the position or before he gets ahead of me, to see where my parameter is. Right? See what the parameter is of your control. Yeah? See there, he had the mechanical leverage, I sunk to the elbow, he tried to lift, and then I re-oscillated the hip, link and delink. So he's got me, he pushed me, but he hasn't got me, because I'm linking, delinking and changing the pressure. He's trying to lift it, that would have it, right? He lifts it, I sink, I redirect it, and then I can release and strike. He changes the position, and I can strike out, right? So you're always linking, delinking all the time. Under pressure, right? The pressure is live. So we're looking under live pressure to find what we can do. Obviously, Wing Chun's a fast system, so we're looking for the strike in the center line, control in the center line, and then we're looking to control the weight to take their balance, because that takes their power. See, the power starts to go once you can to control their weight, and then you link and delink to find where's the next strike, where's the next strike. Right? See there, you have to find where you release it. Right? So it's no good to just do it slow or just do it fast. You have to do it different speeds, different pressures, and have different goals for what you're trying to achieve. So nothing works by itself. Nothing works by itself. That's it. Yeah, see now, yes. There we go. So even when he has the elbow, he's trying to armbar, so I can just relax my elbow. It's very hard. Then I change the position, right? So now, yeah, we start to attack back. So you play with the position and you try to find where's the leverage point, right? Get yourself into a bad position and see if you can cope with the bad position. See how much time you have before you have to link and delink to release it. It's not one thing, right? Sometimes you might be in a situation where you've taken someone's balance by pulling off balance, right? So you did pull off balance, right? If you resist that pull, I release it and strike. So I linked and delinked. If he resists that pull and then he links and delinks, I can't go yet, right? So now I might want to change the angle of the pull, right? Then try to put pressure on the hip. Now I've got his feet up a little bit, right? Now he tries to sink back down, then I come back in. Now I might expand against him to try to get to him. Then he tries to link and delink me. So I come in, get anatomical handle because he's strong. This handle jams him in position. So now he tries to push me. The handle is controlling him, right? Now I put my knee in to take out his hip. Now he pushes his knee in, take out my hip. So now I delink and come to the other side of his hip. Now I push into his body to try and control him. Now I delink and I'm back out again. Right? So there's so many different scenarios, problems to solve. Everything is amalgamation of all your skills. Every skill you have has to be used. Right? So you have to be strong, you have to be robust, you have to be relaxed, you have to be sunk. You have to be able to release, you have to be able to grip, right? You have to be able to stick. All these things are there. There's not one thing that's magic that makes you have a better martial art than anybody else, right? So to say that there's internal Wing Chun, to me, is a misnomer, because there isn't. There's just Wing Chun. There's just martial arts, right? There's just the Chinese martial arts for us, or other martial arts that you practice. They all have the same crossovers of high-level skills. At the higher level, the skills are the same. If you roll with a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, and you're a blue belt or purple belt, you feel like you're got a mental disability, right? Because you make some mistakes, the person feels so much stronger than you, they're going very soft and light, still controlling you. What's happening? It's because they can internalize their skill more, they're relaxed, they're not burning their chi, they're not burning their energy. They're making choices, they're doing the same techniques as you, but their levels of sophistication in terms of the choice of the technique, the choice of pressure, how long to hold a position, what's available from that position. This is all high level skills. They're hidden skills. That's the hidden skill. Obvious skill is do the armbar. People watch what you see. Choke him out. Get the armbar. Yeah, it's not that easy. Just get up. It's not easy to get up because the person's putting weight on your hip, weight on your arm, controlling the leverage. Right? There's all these hidden skills, right? Which the person who's unskilled doesn't see. So that's the hidden skill. So there is an internal aspect to the martial arts. The obvious aspect is, are you strong enough, right? Do you have the basic training? If you don't have the basic training, nothing's going to work. Doesn't matter what you've got. If there's no frame to your system, there's no frame to what you're doing, it's not going to work. Okay, so just think about it. There's no such thing as one thing. It's everything combined. There's focus on your training and there's higher levels, and the higher levels still incorporate the lower levels of training, if people want to call them that. I just think it's just all training, right? So every day you do your stance, right? You never change it. So is that basic? Are you still doing it 50 years later? You're still doing it? There must be a reason why you're still doing it, right? So I've been doing martial arts for 35 years. I'm still doing the same stuff every day that I did when I first started. You still do some of these basic things because that's your foundation training. You never stop, you never go away from that. If you remove that, you always know in class who doesn't do their stance training. You can always tell, right? You can always tell who doesn't do their drill training, right? All the basics still hold tight for your advance, right? The advance is just more layers of that, and the hidden skill is just whether you can see it or not. Okay, so I don't want to bore you too much. We're just going to do some live shoot sounds. Let's speed each other up. That's how we normally train, right? Just normal training. Hi. Good job. So it's just normal training, right? Make mistakes. Sometimes the techniques work internally, externally. Sometimes they're obvious, sometimes not obvious, right? Some of the things you're laughing about is because you can feel what's happening. Other things, you can see what's happening. But that's how your normal training should be, robust.